Thank you for taking the time to speak to me today. I do really appreciate it.
Course.
Um, so, when you were first approached about working on this film, what was your sort of history with Bridget Jones as a set of films? I mean, these films are so iconic everywhere. What did it mean to you to be approached for it?
Yeah, so I mean I remember reading Helen's columns in the 90s. I remember stealing my mum's books when they came out. I was a teenager. So when the first film came out, I was at art school. I'm a Londoner as well. So they've always really resonated with me since I was about 14, I suppose. So it never really crossed my mind that I would ever be able to work on a Bridget Jones. So honestly, it really is a dream come true. And I worked with Working Title on a film called The Swimmers a couple of years ago. So I had a relationship with them, and then when they asked me to come in and meet for this, it was yeah. I mean, it's still a bit unbelievable, to be honest.
Living in a dream a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always said, people are like, what do you want to do in your career? And it's always been, I want to do a rom-com with Working Title, and I never kind of imagined it would be the rom-com, but well
Yeah.
manifested maybe.
Yeah, the pinnacle rom-com, so you did very well there. And did you have a vision straight away of what specifically Bridget's wardrobe would look like, or did it take a long time to sort of land on exactly what you ended up styling her in? I suppose in some cases you do start from scratch, but as you know, when it's the first film, but you have so much to draw on there.
Yes, I think that there's a few things that were very important. One of the things that was very important for me is that three previous costume designers have worked with Renee to create Bridget up till now. And it felt very important to honor them and their work and their creation of this character all together along the way. Um, and secondly, we're meeting Bridget for the first time in her 50s. That felt like a really great opportunity to kind of say something very subtle about how people should approach dressing in their 50s, and how it shouldn't be a thing, and how we shouldn't be overthinking, and that there aren't any rules, and that it's about kind of being comfortable and confident, and whatever that is kind of what you should do. So I suppose, to kind of cut a lot of research very short, the thing that I really kept coming back to with Bridget is her short skirts. It's always been a thing, and I felt very strongly, and I was really happy that Renee felt the same, that why shouldn't she still wear them? I'm in my mid 40s and I'm wearing skirts probably shorter than I ever have. And I think, it felt like something that we could do that was a really kind of Bridget look, that kind of gives her, make sure that we understand that it's the same person. She's not suddenly, older and therefore dressing differently. And I think that felt very important to do. Um, I think the other thing that's obviously very prevalent within our story is that we meet her, in the depths of her grief and bereavement, and then we go on quite a journey with her. So there was a lot of room to help kind of visually tell that story through her costumes, and how we stripped all the color out at the beginning. Everything's kind of oversized and comfy, and tracksuits with Birkenstocks, and her coat from the very first scene in the very first film, which is like a kind of wraparound cardigan coat. And it's like, those things that you reach for when you're feeling nostalgic. Fashion is cyclical. That was something we could really lean into, that, the 2000s are back. So that kind of ties in quite nicely. And then as we kind of with Bridget, when she goes on her date with Rockstar, it was like, okay, what is that outfit going to be? And that was kind of the opportunity to kind of start to bring back the kind of short skirt and the Bridget kind of feel. And I really wanted to pair that with a denim jacket, actually, that little date dress. She wears a denim jacket on her mini break with Daniel Cleaver in the first film, and I think it really made me think about that piece of clothing and how most people have a denim jacket. You can wear it when you're a toddler, you can wear it when you're 100, you can wear it at any time in between. And I think it was a very kind of interesting way to kind of look at dressing one person through their life, which is essentially where we are with Bridget. You know, that's kind of, it's trying to harness what that is. So then throughout the film we got to bring in some more color and some more shapes and kind of give her confidence back in that way as well, I think.
That's a point that I wanted to touch on actually, is that I just love how with it you can kind of see sort of where she is at emotionally just through what she's wearing and the shape of her clothes. Like you were saying, she's got more loose fitting at the start, and
Mm.
she sort of she comes back to her own sort of style by the end. I love it when you get that. You can almost tell the story just through costuming in a way.
That's really nice to that's really nice to hear, because we wanted to, we just wanted to add to the feelings that Bridget was going through at the time and kind of what was happening in her world at the time. And I think, there's the scene when she's writing the letter to Mark. We put her in this really oversized cardi that she wears a lot at the beginning, and we kind of said that that was Mark's cardigan, because also we're in this situation whereby we get to make up what Bridget and Mark's life was like at home with the kids, because we never see that on screen. We go from the wedding to where we meet her at the beginning of four. So it was kind of all these little backstories that we kind of, yeah, he definitely wear cashmere, and he definitely, and this kind of thing, and like, who's Mark Darcy at home? So that was super fun as well. And there's lots of bits like when she goes to Hampstead Heath, she's wearing a shirt that was Mark's with the cardi, and then on Outward Bound, she's got that kind of oversized barber. I mean, Colin is a lot taller than Renee, so we did have to kind of, I was like, right, let's try some of that Colin's actual clothes on, and we were like, no, okay, that's wild. So we sort of cheated it a little bit, because we didn't want, it was really, really important for us with our film that we're never laughing at Bridget. She's never, the subject of a joke that she's not kind of part of, if that makes sense. And I think we wanted to just make sure that all of those things felt kind of natural, and if people didn't realize, that that's supposed to be Mark's shirt or whatnot, it wasn't kind of ridiculous visually. It's still that Bridget's just wearing a shirt and a cardi, that's a bit oversized. So it was very important to kind of get all of those things right, so that anybody new to the films could watch the films kind of this film standalone, which I really think is the case. I think it's such a beautiful film, and I don't think that you need to kind of know Bridget's world in order to watch and enjoy our film. But then if you do, then there's loads of little nice things in there for you, I think.
I like that there's such a positive through line with the other films. As you say, you're looking back and you're saying, right, well, this may as well have been Mark's shirt, this could have been this. And did you retrieve many items from the archives and things? I don't know what that process was like. And I also just read that I was very excited when I saw the penguin pajamas make a comeback, but apparently those actually weren't the original ones.
No, they were not. So we did get a few things out of archive. Unfortunately, there isn't that much. The grey coat and the plum scarf that she wears in the first scene of the first film, the turkey curry buffet, we have both of those, and
Mhm.
we use those in our film separately. Um, there's the penguin pajamas we had to recreate, which was a big old endeavor, because also, by now she's had them for 20 years, so we wanted to really wash them and fade them, and we broke buttons and pulled threads and kind of made them look like they've been laundered quite a bit. And we also had to recreate her see-through top, from when she's getting ready for her date with Rockstar and she's in the bedroom with Shazza. She's wearing a kind of beige see-through top, which was supposed to be the top from the first film in The Office, which doesn't exist. And that was an actual incredible nightmare to try and work out what it was actually made of, because no one could remember. And so I spent a whole flight back from LA literally just watching that scene and freeze. I mean, everyone on that plane, I'm sure, must have thought, what is she doing? Just watching that scene over and over, being like, maybe it's tulle, maybe it's woven, maybe it's linen, maybe it's what? But I think it's a beat and it works if you know, and it's not really a thing. If you haven't seen the first film, I don't think it's such a private joke that it only exists if you know. What else did we recreate? We recreated the Christmas jumper for Billy to wear. So we made it super oversized, but a little bit shorter because Casper is also not 6'3".
Around him.
Yeah, so obviously it had to look like it was marked, but we needed to actually see the see the reindeer on him rather than kind of below
Mhm.
the table. So yeah, I think there was a big mixture of trying to get back at some original things and then also recreating some things. And the other thing I think that was very, very important for ours is, when we meet Bridget, she's 4 years into her bereavement, into her grief. She has not been out buying clothes. And,
Yeah.
Bridget's never been labels or logos or brands. So we went shopping a lot in the charity shops in Hampstead and Finchley, because that's where Bridget lives in our story. So it sort of gave us clothes which were, several seasons out of date, but also maybe she did pop into Mary's Living and Giving or the Farah or whatever and pick something up. So it was really fun. We kind of method shopped a little bit for Bridget, which was really fun as well, because it meant that Renee could kind of if something was incidentally a brand, but we picked it because we loved how it looked, then there was kind of a story enough that Bridget could have it without having a subscription to Net-a-Porter or whatnot.
Absolutely. And just last question for you. Did you have a favorite costume to put together for this one?
Oh,
It's like choosing a favorite child. I realize that, but
that's really hard. I mean, there are I had to add up how many. There's 265 costumes on principal cast in this movie, and that doesn't include crowd, which is a lot for so I think her date outfits, her first date with Rockstar, because that was a real like coming alive Bridget, who is Bridget outfit. I love her Hampstead Heath costume because it has so much meaning. With Mark's shirt, which we had monogrammed by hand, and the cardigan, and seeing Bridget in jeans isn't something, apart from when she was pregnant, I don't think Bridget's ever worn jeans before. So there was a kind of newness to that outfit, which obviously felt great. I really loved her outfit at the summer party as well, the pink dress with the
yeah.
little denim jacket, and bringing things back again as well throughout the film, because it wasn't that she was in something brand new every time we saw her. Favorite costume, I don't think there is one. Maybe it's Mr. Wallaker, which is a bit of a curveball, but
Oh.
ha. Actually, do you know what? I really, really, really love her Christmas show costume, which is a pink coat with a
Yeah.
tartan skirt and the blue shirt. That was a real favorite, because I think the coat looks so beautiful in the snow, and with Mabel in her kind of tutu with her Christmas tree cape, and it was all of them together. I think that felt very nice, and the reason that we chose that blue shirt is that she was wearing blue when she ran out in the snow to meet Mark, to chase after Mark in the first film. So there was like a little bit of a a similarity there. So there's loads of meaning in all of the costumes, so it's really hard actually.
Absolutely. I don't doubt that. But as I say, it's like choosing a child. I appreciate that. Thank you.